In the affluent city of Greenwich, Connecticut, lived the prestigious Vanderbilt family, known for their immense wealth, impressive mansion, and high social standing. The patriarch of the family, Richard Vanderbilt, was a renowned businessman with an empire in the finance sector. His wife, Victoria, was a respected philanthropist involved in numerous charitable causes. Together, they had a daughter, Emily, who was 18 years old and led a life of luxury and excess. Emily was the epitome of a privileged lifestyle. Her days were filled with extravagant parties, shopping at luxury boutiques, and mingling with the elite. However, behind her glamorous facade, Emily lived a life of excess and impulsive decisions, often without considering the consequences. Despite her parents' efforts to instill responsibility and discipline in her, she remained a free spirit, enjoying the freedom that her family's fortune afforded her. One fateful night, after an especially lavish party, Emily discovered that she was pregnant. The news hit her like a ton of bricks, filling her with fear and confusion. She knew her parents would be furious and that the scandal would bring shame to the Vanderbilt name. Desperate and scared, she confided in her best friend, who advised her to keep the pregnancy a secret until she could decide what to do. As the months went by, Emily's secret became harder to conceal. Her growing belly made it impossible for her to attend social events, and she became increasingly isolated. Her parents, noticing her change in behavior, began to suspect something was wrong. One night, Victoria confronted Emily, demanding to know what was happening. Through tears, Emily confessed everything. Richard and Victoria were devastated. They couldn't believe their beloved daughter had gotten herself into such a predicament. The idea of a scandal terrified them. They argued for hours, trying to decide what to do. In their panic, they made a decision that would change their lives forever. When the baby was born, the Vanderbilt family took drastic measures to protect their reputation. They decided to get rid of the newborn. The idea was abhorrent, but their fear of disgrace overpowered their moral judgment. One night, Richard took the baby and, under the cover of darkness, left the mansion with the intention of abandoning the infant. Meanwhile, Maria, the loyal housekeeper who had served the Vanderbilts for years, witnessed the horrific act. She had always felt a special affection for Emily and couldn't bear to see an innocent child suffer. With a heavy heart and fierce determination, Maria followed Richard and rescued the baby from the trash bin where he had cruelly left it. Maria knew she couldn't return to the Vanderbilt house, so she fled with the baby to her modest apartment in the outskirts of the city. She named him Daniel and vowed to raise him as her own, giving him the love and care he deserved. Years passed, and Daniel grew up unaware of his true heritage. Maria worked tirelessly to support him, and despite their humble circumstances, they were happy. Maria's love and dedication gave Daniel a strong sense of belonging and security. Meanwhile, Emily, consumed by guilt and pain, lived a life of regret. The weight of her actions haunted her, and she longed to know what had become of her child. Her relationship with her parents deteriorated, and she eventually left home to start anew, hoping to find some peace. Fate had a way of bringing Emily and Daniel's paths together again. Daniel, now a young man with a big heart and a strong sense of justice, got involved in community work, helping those in need. His compassion and dedication earned him the respect and admiration of many, including a woman named Hannah, who turned out to be an old friend of Emily's. Through Hannah, Emily learned about Daniel and his selfless work. Intrigued and filled with a mix of hope and fear, she sought him out, not knowing he was her lost son. Their eventual reunion was filled with tears, forgiveness, and a deep, unbreakable bond. Emily's remorse and Daniel's capacity for compassion led them to build a new family together, overcoming the shadows of the past and creating a future filled with love and redemption. As Maria settled into her modest apartment with baby Daniel, she knew her life had changed forever. The small one-bedroom apartment was a far cry from the grandeur of the Vanderbilt mansion, but it was filled with warmth and love. Maria, with her nurturing spirit, dedicated herself entirely to Daniel's well-being. She worked long hours as a cleaning lady, scrubbing floors and washing windows, to provide for the child who had become the center of her world. Daniel grew up in a humble but loving environment. Maria's care and attention ensured that he never felt the absence of luxury. She instilled in him values of kindness, honesty, and hard work. Despite their financial struggles, Daniel was a happy and curious child, always eager to learn and explore the world around him. Maria often read to him from her small collection of books, nurturing his imagination and intellect. As Daniel entered school, he quickly stood out for his intelligence and empathy. He was the kind of child who would share his lunch with a classmate who had forgotten theirs, or help a friend with their homework. Teachers and peers alike were drawn to his gentle nature and bright mind. Maria beamed with pride as she watched Daniel grow, knowing that she had made the right choice in rescuing him. Meanwhile, Emily's life took a different path. The guilt of abandoning her child weighed heavily on her. After leaving her parents' home, she moved to New York City, seeking a fresh start. She enrolled in college, determined to build a life independent of her family's wealth. Emily pursued a degree in social work, driven by a desire to help those in need, perhaps as a way to atone for her past actions. In New York, Emily thrived academically, but the emotional scars remained. She often found herself drawn to causes involving children and young mothers, subconsciously seeking to heal the wound left by her lost son. Despite her success, Emily felt an emptiness that no amount of professional achievement could fill. Back in Greenwich, Richard and Victoria Vanderbilt struggled with their own demons. The loss of their daughter and grandchild, coupled with the burden of their secrets, created a rift between them. Richard buried himself in his work, trying to maintain the family empire, while Victoria withdrew from society, plagued by regret. The once glamorous socialite found solace in charitable work, dedicating her time to causes that provided support to unwed mothers and abandoned children. Years passed, and Daniel blossomed into a compassionate young man. His passion for helping others mirrored that of his biological mother, Emily, though he remained unaware of his true origins. Maria's health began to decline, and as she grew weaker, Daniel took on more responsibilities, working part-time jobs to support them. Despite the hardships, their bond remained strong. Maria, sensing her time was limited, decided to tell Daniel the truth about his past. On a quiet evening, she sat him down and recounted the story of his birth, the Vanderbilt family's abandonment, and her decision to rescue him. Daniel listened in shock, his world turned upside down by the revelation. Yet, as Maria spoke, he felt a deep sense of gratitude for the woman who had given him a chance at life. Determined to understand his past, Daniel embarked on a journey to uncover more about the Vanderbilts. He started by researching the family online, learning about their wealth, influence, and the mysterious circumstances surrounding his abandonment. Daniel discovered articles about Emily's departure from her family and her subsequent work in New York, painting a picture of a woman haunted by her choices. Driven by a need for closure, Daniel decided to find Emily. He contacted Hannah, Emily's old friend, who had been mentioned in some of the articles. Hannah, recognizing Daniel's sincerity and the uncanny resemblance to Emily, agreed to help. She provided him with Emily's contact information and offered to facilitate a meeting. The day Daniel met Emily was filled with a whirlwind of emotions. They arranged to meet in a small cafe in New York. As Daniel walked in, his heart pounded with anticipation and anxiety. Emily sat at a corner table, her eyes widening in shock as she recognized the young man approaching her. It was like looking into a mirror of her past, seeing her son for the first time in 18 years. Their reunion was bittersweet. Emily, overwhelmed by guilt and relief, struggled to find the words to express her emotions. Daniel, while grateful to finally meet his mother, grappled with a mix of anger and compassion. He had spent his life wondering about his origins, and now, faced with the woman who had abandoned him, he sought answers and understanding. Over several emotional meetings, Emily and Daniel began to bridge the gap between them. Emily recounted her side of the story, sharing the pain and regret that had plagued her for years. Daniel listened, absorbing her words and finding empathy in his heart. He realized that while Emily's actions had caused him immense pain, she too had suffered greatly. As mother and son worked to rebuild their relationship, Emily introduced Daniel to the world of social work. Together, they volunteered at shelters and community centers, helping those in need and finding healing in their shared mission. Daniel's presence brought new purpose to Emily's life, and their bond grew stronger with each passing day. The bond between Emily and Daniel continued to grow, but the road to reconciliation was far from easy. Both carried deep emotional scars that needed healing. Emily often found herself overwhelmed by the enormity of her past mistakes, while Daniel struggled to reconcile his love for Maria, the woman who had raised him, with a desire to understand his biological mother. Emily and Daniel spent countless hours talking, sharing their life stories, and working through their feelings. Emily told Daniel about her teenage years, her rebellious streak, and how she had fallen in love with Jason, a charming but irresponsible young man. She spoke of the pressure she felt from her parents to maintain the family's pristine image and the overwhelming fear that had led her to abandon her baby. Daniel, in turn, shared stories of his childhood with Maria. He talked about the warmth and love she had given him, despite their modest means. He recounted the nights spent reading books together, the sacrifices Maria made to ensure he had a good education, and the values she instilled in him. As Daniel spoke, Emily could see the profound impact Maria had on shaping the compassionate and driven young man before her. The more they shared, the more they realized how their lives had been intertwined by fate. Emily's decisions had not only affected her own life but had shaped Daniel's as well. This realization brought them closer, as they both sought to make amends and create a future built on understanding and love. During this time, Daniel continued his quest to learn more about the Vanderbilt family. He visited Greenwich, the place he was born, and saw the mansion where Emily had grown up. Standing outside the grand estate, Daniel felt a strange connection to the opulent world he had never known. It was a stark contrast to the humble life he had lived with Maria, but it was also a part of his heritage. Determined to piece together the missing parts of his past, Daniel sought out Victoria Vanderbilt. He knew this encounter would be challenging, given her role in his abandonment, but he needed to confront her and seek closure. After several attempts, Daniel finally arranged a meeting with his grandmother at a local coffee shop. Victoria arrived, her demeanor still regal and composed despite the years that had passed. She regarded Daniel with a mixture of curiosity and apprehension. As they sat down, Daniel could sense the tension in the air. He had rehearsed this moment in his mind countless times, but now, faced with the woman who had cast him aside, he found it difficult to begin. Victoria broke the silence, her voice firm but tinged with regret. "You must be Daniel. I've heard a lot about you from Emily." Daniel nodded, taking a deep breath. "Yes, I am. I wanted to meet you to understand why you did what you did, why you abandoned me." Victoria's eyes softened, and for a moment the composed facade cracked. "It wasn't an easy decision. At the time, we thought we were protecting the family's reputation. We were wrong. I was wrong." She explained how the fear of scandal and societal judgment had driven their actions. The Vanderbilt name had been synonymous with wealth and influence, and any blemish on their image was considered catastrophic. Victoria's voice trembled as she recounted the days following Daniel's birth, the arguments, and the eventual decision to abandon him. Listening to her, Daniel felt a mix of anger and sadness. The pain of being discarded was still raw, but he also saw the guilt and regret in Victoria's eyes. It was clear that she had been haunted by her decision for years. This realization didn't absolve her actions, but it allowed Daniel to see her as a flawed human being rather than a villain. "I can't change the past," Victoria said, her voice barely above a whisper. "But I want to make things right. I want to be a part of your life, if you'll let me." Daniel took a moment to process her words. He had longed for this acknowledgement, this acceptance, but it was also overwhelming. He thought of Maria and the sacrifices she had made. She had given him everything without asking for anything in return. And now, here was Victoria, offering to step into a role that Maria had fulfilled selflessly. "I need time to think about it," Daniel replied, his voice steady but firm. I appreciate your willingness to make amends, but this isn't something I can decide right now." Victoria nodded, understanding the weight of his words. They parted on uncertain terms, but there was a sense of possibility, a hope that healing could begin. As Daniel left the coffee shop, he felt a mixture of relief and confusion. Confronting Victoria had been necessary, but it also opened up a new chapter in his life that he wasn't sure he was ready for. Back in New York, Daniel shared the encounter with Emily. She listened intently, offering her support and understanding. Emily knew the complexity of navigating family dynamics, especially when past actions had caused so much pain. She encouraged Daniel to take his time, to process his emotions, and to make decisions that felt right for him. In the midst of these emotional revelations, Maria's health continued to decline. Daniel juggled his time between work, caring for Maria, and exploring his newfound relationship with Emily. The weight of these responsibilities was immense, but Daniel drew strength from the love and support around him. Maria, sensing her time was limited, wanted to see Daniel secure and happy. She encouraged him to embrace his relationship with Emily and to consider the possibilities of reconnecting with the Vanderbilt family. Maria's wisdom and unconditional love guided Daniel through these challenging times, offering him a sense of stability amidst the chaos. As the months passed, Daniel found a balance between his responsibilities and his personal growth. He continued to volunteer with Emily, finding solace in helping others and making a positive impact. His relationship with Emily grew stronger, and they began to envision a future where they could work together to create meaningful change. As Daniel navigated the complexities of his life, a new chapter began to unfold. The bond with Emily deepened, their shared experiences creating a foundation of trust and mutual respect. Emily's genuine remorse for her past actions, coupled with her dedication to building a better future, inspired Daniel. He admired her resilience and her commitment to making amends, and he felt a growing sense of purpose in their relationship. Meanwhile, Daniel continued to care for Maria, whose health was steadily declining. Each day with her was precious, and he cherished the moments they spent together. Maria's wisdom and guidance had shaped him into the man he was, and her unwavering love provided him with the strength he needed to face the challenges ahead. One evening, as Daniel sat by Maria's bedside, she took his hand in hers. Her voice was weak, but her eyes were filled with clarity and determination. "Daniel," she said softly, "I want you to know that I am proud of you. You've grown into a remarkable young man, and I am grateful for every moment we've shared." Tears welled up in Daniel's eyes as he listened to Maria's words. "I owe everything to you, Maria. You gave me a life filled with love and kindness. I can't imagine where I would be without you." Maria smiled, her eyes twinkling with affection. "You've always had a good heart, Daniel. And now you have the chance to build a future with Emily and perhaps even reconnect with your biological family. I want you to embrace these opportunities, to find happiness and fulfillment in your life." Daniel nodded, his emotions overwhelming him. "I promise, Maria. I'll do my best to honor your wishes and to make the most of the opportunities one have." As Maria's condition worsened, Daniel and Emily spent more time together, supporting each other through the difficult days. Emily often accompanied Daniel to the hospital, offering a comforting presence and helping in any way she could. Their shared experiences strengthened their bond, and they found solace in each other's company. One day, while visiting Maria, Emily brought a scrapbook filled with photos and memories of Daniel's life. She had painstakingly compiled it, hoping to provide Daniel with a tangible connection to his past. As they flipped through the pages, Maria's eyes lit up with joy. She recognized many of the moments captured in the photos and shared stories from Daniel's childhood that he had never heard before. "This is wonderful, Emily," Maria said, her voice filled with gratitude. "You've given Daniel a precious gift. These memories will be a source of comfort and strength for him in the years to come." Emily smiled, her heart swelling with pride. "I wanted to do something special for both of you. Daniel deserves to know his story, to have a sense of where he came from." As they continued to explore the scrapbook, Daniel felt a profound connection to his past. The photos and stories provided a sense of continuity, a bridge between the life he had known and the one he was now building. He realized that while his journey had been filled with challenges, it had also been shaped by love and resilience. In the following weeks, Daniel and Emily grew even closer. They spent evenings discussing their hopes and dreams, envisioning a future where they could work together to make a difference in the world. Emily's passion for social justice and Daniel's commitment to helping others created a powerful synergy, and they began to explore ways to combine their efforts. Emily introduced Daniel to her network of contacts in the nonprofit sector, and together, they began to brainstorm ideas for new initiatives. They envisioned a foundation that would support underprivileged youth, providing them with access to education, mentorship, and resources to help them achieve their potential. Daniel's personal experience with Maria's unconditional love and support fueled his desire to give back and make a positive impact on the lives of others. As they worked on their plans, Daniel continued to grapple with his feelings about the Vanderbilt family. His encounters with Victoria had opened up new possibilities, but he remained cautious. He knew that rebuilding a relationship with his biological family would be a complex and emotional journey, and he wanted to approach it with care and thoughtfulness. One evening, as they sat in Emily's apartment, Daniel voiced his concerns. "Emily, I know that reconnecting with the Vanderbilts could be an important step for me, but I'm not sure how to navigate it. There's so much history and pain involved." Emily took his hand, her eyes filled with understanding. "Daniel, I think it's important for you to take this journey at your own pace. You've already shown incredible strength and resilience. Remember that you're not alone in this. I'm here with you, and together we can face whatever comes our way." Her words provided Daniel with a sense of reassurance. He knew that the path ahead would be challenging, but he also felt a renewed sense of determination. He decided to take small steps towards reconnecting with his biological family, starting with regular visits to Victoria. Each encounter allowed him to learn more about his heritage and the people who had shaped his early years. As Daniel and Victoria spent more time together, they began to build a tentative bond. Victoria's regret for her past actions was evident, and she made a concerted effort to understand Daniel's perspective. She shared stories about the Vanderbilt family, their legacy, and the values they held dear. These conversations provided Daniel with a deeper understanding of his roots and helped him to reconcile the different aspects of his identity. During one of their visits, Victoria showed Daniel a collection of letters and photographs that had been kept hidden for years. Among them were letters from Emily's father, expressing his love and concern for his daughter during her difficult pregnancy. Reading these letters, Daniel felt a connection to the grandfather he had never known, and it deepened his appreciation for the complexities of his family's history. Through these interactions, Daniel began to see Victoria not just as the woman who had abandoned him, but as a flawed and human figure who had made mistakes and was now seeking redemption. This shift in perspective allowed him to approach their relationship with more empathy and understanding. As the months passed, Daniel and Emily continued to work on their foundation. They held meetings with potential partners, secured funding, and developed programs aimed at supporting vulnerable youth. Their efforts began to bear fruit, and they witnessed the positive impact their work had on the lives of those they helped. The foundation became a beacon of hope and opportunity, a testament to their dedication and passion for making a difference. In the midst of these achievements, Maria's health continued to decline. Daniel spent as much time as possible by her side, cherishing every moment they had left together. Maria's unwavering love and support had been the cornerstone of his life, and he wanted to ensure that her final days were filled with peace and comfort. One evening, as they sat together in the hospital, Maria took Daniel's hand and spoke with a clarity that belied her frail condition. "Daniel, my dear, I want you to promise me something. Promise me that you'll continue to pursue your dreams, that you'll live a life filled with love and purpose." Tears streamed down Daniel's face as he listened to Maria's words. "I promise, Maria. I'll do everything I can to honor your memory and make you proud." Maria smiled, her eyes filled with warmth and love. "I know you will, Daniel. You've always had a good heart, and I believe in you." As Maria's condition worsened, Daniel and Emily supported each other through the difficult days. They found strength in their shared experiences and their commitment to making a positive impact on the world. Their love for each other grew stronger, and they envisioned a future where they could continue to work together to create meaningful change. As the Foundation's activities gained momentum, Daniel and Emily found themselves busier than ever. Their passion for helping underprivileged youth fueled their drive, but it also tested their endurance. Long hours and countless meetings became the norm, yet they both knew that every effort was worth it. The Foundation was making a tangible difference in the lives of many, and that was their greatest reward. In the midst of this whirlwind, Daniel continued to grapple with his feelings towards the Vanderbilts. The tentative relationship with Victoria was progressing, albeit slowly. He appreciated her efforts to connect and her willingness to share the Vanderbilt family's history, yet he couldn't shake the feeling of betrayal and abandonment from his early years. It was a delicate balance, navigating between forgiveness and the lingering pain of his past. One afternoon, as Daniel and Emily reviewed the Foundation's latest project proposals, Victoria called. Her voice carried a sense of urgency that immediately caught Daniel's attention. "Daniel, I need to see you," she said. "There's something important I need to discuss with you. Can you come over this evening?" Daniel agreed, feeling a mix of curiosity and apprehension. He shared the news with Emily, who offered to accompany him for support. Together, they arrived at the Vanderbilt estate later that day, their hearts heavy with anticipation. Victoria greeted them at the door, her expression serious but warm. She led them into the library, where a large portrait of Daniel's grandfather hung prominently on the wall. Victoria gestured for them to sit, then took a deep breath before speaking. "Daniel, there's something I haven't told you yet, something that has weighed heavily on my heart for many years," she began. "When you were born, your grandfather left a series of letters addressed to you. He had hoped to give them to you himself, but his passing prevented that. I've kept these letters safe, waiting for the right moment to share them with you." She handed Daniel a small, weathered box. Inside were several sealed envelopes, each marked with dates spanning the first few years of his life. Daniel's hands trembled as he took the box, his mind racing with questions and emotions. "He loved you very much," Victoria continued. "And he wanted you to know that, despite everything, you were always in his thoughts. These letters are his way of sharing his love and wisdom with you." Overwhelmed, Daniel looked at Emily, who squeezed his hand reassuringly. He carefully opened the first envelope, his eyes scanning the handwritten words. The letter was filled with expressions of love, hope, and advice for a young boy who would one day face the world on his own. As he read, Daniel felt a profound connection to his grandfather, a man he had never met but who had clearly cared deeply for him. The words resonated with him, offering comfort and guidance in a way he had never experienced before. He read through several more letters, each one adding layers to the tapestry of his family history. Victoria watched with tears in her eyes, grateful that Daniel was finally able to receive the messages his grandfather had intended for him. She knew that this was an important step in their journey of reconciliation, and she hoped it would bring them closer together. In the following weeks, Daniel continued to read his grandfather's letters, finding solace and strength in the words. The letters became a source of inspiration, motivating him to persevere in his efforts with the Foundation and to seek healing in his relationships. Meanwhile, Emily worked tirelessly alongside Daniel, her dedication unwavering. She believed in their mission wholeheartedly, and her passion was contagious. Together, they launched several new initiatives, including a scholarship program for disadvantaged students and a mentorship program pairing young people with successful professionals. Their work caught the attention of the media, and soon, the Foundation received widespread recognition for its impact. Donations poured in, and their team expanded to include experts in education, social work, and mental health. The Foundation's reach grew, and they were able to help even more young people realize their potential. Throughout this period of growth, Daniel remained deeply involved in every aspect of the Foundation's operations. He visited schools, met with community leaders, and attended countless events, always striving to connect with the individuals they were helping. His personal story resonated with many, and he became a powerful advocate for the cause. Despite the demands of their work, Daniel and Emily made sure to prioritize their relationship. They set aside time each week to be together, away from the pressures of the foundation. They enjoyed simple pleasures like cooking dinner together, going for walks, and spending quiet evenings at home. These moments of intimacy and connection sustained them, providing a much-needed balance in their busy lives. One evening, as they sat on the porch of their small house, Daniel turned to Emily with a thoughtful expression. "I've been thinking a lot about my grandfather's letters," he said. "His words have given me a new perspective on our family's history. I feel like I understand more about where I come from and why things happened the way they did." Emily nodded, her eyes filled with empathy. "It's amazing how his love and wisdom can still reach you after all these years. I think it's a testament to the enduring power of family and the connections we share." Daniel smiled, feeling a deep sense of gratitude for Emily's presence in his life. "You're right. And it's made me realize that I want to honor his legacy by continuing our work with the foundation. But I also want to take it a step further." Emily raised an eyebrow, curious. "What do you have in mind?" "I want to create a program specifically for young people who, like me, have faced abandonment and loss," Daniel explained. "I want to provide them with the support and resources they need to heal and thrive. I believe that by sharing my story and my grandfather's letters, we can inspire hope and resilience in others." Emily's eyes lit up with enthusiasm. "That's a wonderful idea, Daniel. I think it could make a real difference in the lives of so many young people. Let's do it together." With renewed determination, Daniel and Emily began to develop the new program. They reached out to experts in trauma recovery, child psychology, and family counseling to design a comprehensive support system for the participants. The program would include therapy sessions, educational workshops, and recreational activities, all aimed at helping young people heal and build a brighter future. As they worked on the details, Daniel continued to reflect on his relationship with the Vanderbilts. He decided to invite Victoria to participate in the program, hoping that her involvement would help bridge the gap between them and provide a sense of closure for both of them. Victoria was honored by the invitation and eagerly accepted. She saw it as an opportunity to make amends for her past actions and to contribute to a cause that was close to her heart. Together, they organized a series of events where Victoria shared her own experiences and the lessons she had learned from her mistakes. The program launched with great success, attracting attention from both the public and the media. Young people from all walks of life joined, eager to find support and guidance. Daniel and Emily were deeply moved by the stories they heard and the resilience they witnessed. They knew that their efforts were making a real difference, and they felt a profound sense of fulfillment in their work. As the months passed, the program continued to grow, and its impact became increasingly evident. Participants reported significant improvements in their emotional well-being, academic performance, and overall outlook on life. Many formed lasting friendships and found a sense of belonging within the supportive community the program had created. Through it all, Daniel and Emily remained committed to each other and to their shared vision. They knew that the journey ahead would be filled with challenges, but they were confident in their ability to overcome them together. Their love and dedication to their work provided them with the strength and resilience they needed to face whatever came their way. One day, as they stood on the stage at a gala event celebrating the Foundation's achievements, Daniel looked out at the audience filled with supporters, volunteers, and program participants. He felt a deep sense of gratitude for the journey he had taken and the people who had been part of it. "Thank you all for being here," he began, his voice filled with emotion. "This foundation started as a dream, a way to honor the love and support I received from my adoptive mother, Maria. It has grown into something much greater, thanks to the dedication and passion of so many incredible individuals. Together, we have created a community of hope and resilience, and I am profoundly grateful for each and every one of you." The audience erupted in applause, their faces reflecting the impact of Daniel's words. He turned to Emily, who stood by his side, her eyes shining with pride and love. He took her hand, feeling a deep connection to the woman who had become his partner in both life and work. "Emily, you have been my rock, my inspiration, and my greatest support. I couldn't have done any of this without you. Thank you for believing in me and for sharing this journey with me." Emily smiled, her heart full. "Thank you, Daniel. It's been an honor to stand by your side and to work together to make a difference. I can't wait to see what the future holds for us and for the foundation." As they embraced, the audience rose to their feet, giving them a standing ovation. In that moment, Daniel felt a profound sense of fulfillment and purpose. He knew that the journey was far from over, but with Emily by his side and the support of their community, he was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Their story was one of love, resilience, and the enduring power of family. It was a testament to the impact that one person can have on the lives of others and the importance of never giving up on the people you care about. Together, Daniel and Emily had built a legacy of hope and kindness, and they were determined to continue their work, making the world a. In the following months, the new program for young people who faced abandonment and loss became the cornerstone of the Foundation's efforts. Daniel and Emily poured their hearts and souls into making it a success. They hosted workshops, support groups, and recreational activities designed to help participants heal and build brighter futures. One day, during a group therapy session, a young girl named Sophie shared her story. She was just 16 but had already experienced more hardship than most people face in a lifetime. Her mother had left when she was a baby, and her father had succumbed to addiction, leaving her to fend for herself. Despite her struggles, Sophie had an indomitable spirit and a fierce determination to overcome her circumstances. As she spoke, Daniel felt a connection to her story. He saw in Sophie a reflection of his own experiences, and he was determined to help her find the support and opportunities she needed to succeed. After the session, he approached her and introduced himself. "Sophie, I wanted to thank you for sharing your story today," he said gently. "It takes a lot of courage to open up like that." Sophie looked up at him, her eyes filled with a mix of hope and uncertainty. "Thank you, Mr. Harris. I just want to find a way to move forward and make something of my life." Daniel smiled warmly. "I believe you can, Sophie. And we're here to help you every step of the way. If there's anything you need, please don't hesitate to reach out." Over the next few weeks, Daniel took Sophie under his wing. He arranged for her to receive tutoring to catch up on her studies, connected her with a mentor who had faced similar challenges, and ensured she had access to counseling services. Sophie thrived under this support, her grades improved, and her confidence grew. Meanwhile, Emily continued to lead the Foundation's educational initiatives. She developed a series of workshops focused on life skills, career planning, and emotional resilience. Her dedication to the cause inspired everyone around her, and the program's impact continued to expand. One evening, as Daniel and Emily were discussing their progress over dinner, Emily shared a new idea. "Daniel, I've been thinking about how we can further support these young people once they graduate from our programs. What if we create a scholarship fund to help them pursue higher education or vocational training?" Daniel's eyes lit up with enthusiasm. "That's a fantastic idea, Emily. Education is such a powerful tool for breaking the cycle of poverty and giving people the skills they need to succeed." They began planning the scholarship fund, reaching out to donors and partners who shared their vision. The response was overwhelmingly positive, and soon they had enough funds to offer several scholarships to deserving students. As the program grew, Daniel found himself reflecting more on his own journey and the importance of forgiveness and reconciliation. He continued to build his relationship with Victoria, who became an active participant in the Foundation's activities. Her presence added a new dimension to the program, and her willingness to share her own experiences helped many young people feel less alone in their struggles. One afternoon, Daniel received an unexpected call from a man named Richard Montgomery. Richard was a successful entrepreneur who had heard about the Foundation's work and wanted to contribute. He invited Daniel to meet him at his office to discuss potential collaborations. Intrigued, Daniel agreed and found himself in a sleek, modern office building a few days later. Richard greeted him warmly, his handshake firm and his demeanor confident. "Daniel, it's a pleasure to meet you," Richard said. "I've been following your Foundation's work, and I'm incredibly impressed by what you've accomplished. I believe we share a common goal of empowering young people to reach their full potential." Daniel smiled, appreciating Richard's enthusiasm. "Thank you, Richard. We're always looking for ways to expand our impact and help more young people. I'd love to hear your ideas." Richard leaned forward, his eyes shining with excitement. "I want to partner with your foundation to create a tech incubator program for young entrepreneurs. We'll provide training, mentorship, and seed funding to help them launch their own businesses. I believe that by giving these young people the tools to succeed, we can create lasting change in their lives and in our communities." Daniel was thrilled by the proposal. He knew that entrepreneurship could be a powerful pathway to economic independence and personal fulfillment. He agreed to collaborate, and together, they began laying the groundwork for the new program. The tech incubator launched with great fanfare, attracting a diverse group of participants. Daniel and Richard worked closely with the young entrepreneurs, offering guidance and support as they developed their business ideas. The program quickly gained a reputation for its innovative approach and impressive results. As the incubator grew, Daniel and Emily continued to manage the Foundation's other initiatives. They balanced their professional responsibilities with their personal lives, always making time for each other and for the people they loved. Their partnership was a source of strength and inspiration, and their shared vision kept them motivated through the challenges they faced. One evening, as they were winding down after a long day, Daniel received a call from Sophie. Her voice was filled with excitement and pride. "Mr. Harris, I just received my acceptance letter from the university. I can't believe it. I got the scholarship." Daniel felt a surge of joy and pride. "Sophie, that's incredible news. I'm so proud of you. You've worked so hard, and you deserve this opportunity." Sophie laughed, her happiness infectious. "Thank you, Mr. Harris. I couldn't have done it without your support and the Foundation's help. I'm going to make the most of this chance, I promise." As Daniel hung up the phone, he turned to Emily with a smile. "This is why we do what we do. Helping young people like Sophie achieve their dreams is the most rewarding part of this work." Emily nodded, her eyes shining with pride. "Absolutely, Daniel. Seeing the impact we're making in these young people's lives makes all the effort worth it." With each passing day, the Foundation's reach and influence continued to grow. Daniel and Emily remained committed to their mission, always seeking new ways to support and empower the young people they served. Their journey was filled with challenges and triumphs, but through it all, they held on to their shared vision and their unwavering dedication to making a difference. And so, Daniel and Emily's story continued, a testament to the power of love, resilience, and the enduring impact of giving back to the community. Together, they built a legacy that would inspire future generations to believe in themselves and strive for a better world. Years passed, and the foundation that Daniel and Emily built continued to thrive. Their initiatives had positively impacted countless young lives, and their scholarship program had become a beacon of hope for many. The tech incubator, in particular, was flourishing, producing successful startups and young entrepreneurs who were making a significant difference in their communities. One day, while Daniel was reviewing some reports in his office, he received an unexpected visitor. It was Victoria, the sister who had abandoned him years ago. Despite their reconciliation, Victoria had always kept a distance, focusing on her own life and career. Seeing her standing at his office door brought a wave of mixed emotions. "Victoria," Daniel greeted her, standing up and offering a smile. "What a surprise. Please, come in." Victoria hesitated for a moment before stepping inside. She looked around the office, taking in the photographs of the many young people Daniel and Emily had helped. Finally, she met his gaze. "Daniel, I know I haven't been around much," she began, her voice tinged with regret. "But I've been following the work you and Emily are doing. It's truly remarkable. I'm proud of you." Daniel felt a swell of emotion at her words. "Thank you, Victoria. That means a lot coming from you." Victoria took a deep breath, as if summoning the courage to say what was on her mind. "I came here today because, well, I want to be a part of it. I want to help in any way I can." Daniel was taken aback by her offer. For years, he had wished for a closer relationship with his sister, and now it seemed that wish was within reach. "Of course, Victoria. We'd love to have you involved. There's always room for more hands and hearts in our work." Victoria smiled, a genuine expression of relief and hope. "Thank you, Daniel. I don't know where to start, but I'm eager to learn and contribute." Over the next few months, Victoria became an integral part of the foundation. She brought fresh perspectives and new ideas, quickly earning the respect and admiration of the staff and volunteers. Daniel and Emily were thrilled to see the positive changes in her, and their bond grew stronger as they worked together. One of Victoria's first projects was to expand the Foundation's outreach to include mental health support for young people. She had seen firsthand how emotional and psychological challenges could impact one's ability to succeed, and she was passionate about providing resources and support in this area. She worked closely with mental health professionals to develop comprehensive programs, including counseling, workshops, and peer support groups. The initiative was met with great enthusiasm, and many young people benefited from the additional support. Meanwhile, the Tech Incubator program continued to produce impressive results. One of the standout participants was a young man named Jake, who had developed a groundbreaking app that provided job training and placement services for disadvantaged youth. His app quickly gained traction, attracting the attention of investors and media alike. Daniel took a personal interest in Jake's project, offering mentorship and guidance as he navigated the complexities of growing his startup. Jake's success became a source of inspiration for many others in the program, showing them that with hard work and determination, they too could achieve their dreams. Emily, on the other hand, focused on expanding the educational initiatives. She introduced new courses in financial literacy, leadership, and civic engagement, empowering young people with the knowledge and skills they needed to become active, informed members of society. As the foundation grew, so did its impact. Stories of transformation and success began to pour in from all corners. One such story was that of Mia, a young woman who had come to the foundation after escaping an abusive home environment. With the foundation's support, Mia had found the strength to rebuild her life. She completed her education, secured a stable job, and eventually started her own business. Mia's story resonated deeply with Daniel and Emily. It was a powerful reminder of why they had started the foundation in the first place. They invited Mia to share her journey at one of their annual fundraising events, and her heartfelt speech moved everyone in attendance. As the applause died down, Daniel took the stage to address the audience. Mia's story is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the incredible impact we can have when we come together to support one another. This foundation was built on the belief that every young person deserves a chance to succeed, no matter their circumstances. And tonight, we renew our commitment to that mission. The event was a resounding success, raising significant funds to support the foundation's programs. Daniel and Emily felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude for the community that had rallied around their cause. They knew that together, they could continue to make a difference in the lives of many more young people. One evening, as they were winding down after a long day, Emily turned to Daniel with a thoughtful expression. "You know, Daniel, I've been thinking about our journey. It's amazing how far we've come and how much we've accomplished together." Daniel nodded, reflecting on their shared experiences. "It truly is, Emily. And it's not just about the achievements, it's about the lives we've touched and the hope we've been able to bring." Emily smiled warmly. "I agree. And there's still so much more we can do. I'm excited for the future and all the possibilities it holds." Their conversation was interrupted by a knock on the door. It was Sophie, now a university student and one of the Foundation's brightest success stories. She had come to visit during her holiday break, eager to share her progress and express her gratitude. "Mr. Harris, Ms. Emily," Sophie began, her eyes shining with excitement. "I just wanted to thank you both again. The scholarship you gave me has changed my life. I'm studying hard, and I'm determined to give back and help others like you've helped me." Daniel and Emily exchanged proud smiles. "We're so proud of you, Sophie," Daniel said. "You're an inspiration to us all, and we can't wait to see what you achieve in the future." As Sophie left, Daniel and Emily felt a deep sense of fulfillment. Their work was far from over, but moments like these reminded them of the profound impact they were making. They knew that as long as they continued to believe in their mission and support one another, they could overcome any challenge and create lasting, positive change in the world. Years continued to pass, and the Foundation only grew stronger. Daniel, Emily, and Victoria's collaborative efforts had transformed it into a powerhouse of change and hope for countless young lives. The Foundation's reach had expanded significantly, now operating in multiple cities and impacting communities far and wide. One sunny afternoon, Emily was hosting a workshop for young women interested in pursuing careers in technology. She had always been passionate about encouraging girls to break into traditionally male-dominated fields, and the turnout for the workshop was impressive. Among the attendees was a young woman named Clara, who had an extraordinary story to share. Clara had grown up in a rough neighborhood, where opportunities were scarce and the future often seemed bleak. Despite her circumstances, she had a natural talent for coding and a burning desire to change her life. She had learned about the Foundation through a friend and had eagerly applied for their scholarship program. Her acceptance into the program marked the beginning of a new chapter in her life. As Clara stood before the workshop participants, she shared her journey with heartfelt sincerity. "When I first heard about the Foundation, I felt a glimmer of hope that things could be different for me," she began. "With their support, I was able to attend university and pursue my passion for technology. Today, I'm not only a graduate with a degree in computer science, but I'm also working at a tech startup that is making waves in the industry." The room erupted in applause, and Emily felt a surge of pride. Stories like Clara's were a testament to the Foundation's mission and the tangible difference it made in the lives of those it touched. Meanwhile, Daniel and Victoria were working on a new initiative aimed at providing housing and support for homeless youth. They had partnered with local governments and businesses to create safe, nurturing environments where young people could rebuild their lives. This initiative was particularly close to Daniel's heart, as it reminded him of his own struggles and the kindness he had received from others in his darkest moments. One evening, Daniel and Victoria visited one of the newly established shelters. They were greeted by the staff and several of the residents, who were eager to share their experiences. Among them was a young man named Alex, who had been living on the streets for several years before finding refuge at the shelter. "Mr. Harris, Ms. Victoria," Alex began, his voice filled with emotion, "I can't thank you enough for what you've done. This place has given me a second chance at life. I'm now taking classes, learning new skills, and I finally have hope for a better future." Daniel placed a hand on Alex's shoulder, his eyes reflecting understanding and compassion. "We're proud of you, Alex. Remember, you're not alone in this journey. We're here to support you every step of the way." As they continued their tour, Daniel and Victoria were moved by the stories they heard. Each resident had faced unimaginable hardships, yet they all shared a common thread of resilience and hope. It was a powerful reminder of why they had committed their lives to this cause. Back at the Foundation's headquarters, Emily was busy coordinating a major fundraising event. The event, set to take place at a prestigious venue, aimed to raise funds for their latest projects and celebrate the successes of the past year. The guest list included philanthropists, business leaders, and many of the young people who had benefited from the Foundation's programs. The evening of the event arrived, and the venue was filled with an air of anticipation and excitement. Daniel, Emily, and Victoria took the stage to address the attendees, each sharing their perspectives on the Foundation's journey and the impact it had made. Emily began, her voice steady and warm. "Tonight, we gather not just to celebrate our achievements, but to honor the incredible young people who inspire us every day. Their courage, determination, and resilience are the true markers of success." Victoria followed, her tone reflecting the passion she had developed for their mission. "It's been an incredible journey, and I'm grateful to be part of this remarkable family. Together, we've created something truly special, and I look forward to what the future holds." Daniel concluded, his words filled with heartfelt gratitude. "Our foundation started with a simple dream, to make a difference. Thanks to your support, that dream has become a reality. Let's continue to work together to build a brighter future for all." As the night progressed, the event turned into a resounding success, surpassing their fundraising goals and strengthening the bonds within their community. The attendees were deeply moved by the stories of transformation and the tangible impact of their contributions. One particularly memorable moment occurred when Mia, the young woman who had previously shared her journey at a past event, returned to the stage. Now a successful business owner and an advocate for at-risk youth, she delivered an inspiring speech that left a lasting impression on everyone present. "Standing here today, I am living proof that no matter where you come from or what challenges you face, you can achieve greatness with the right support and determination," Mia said. "The Foundation gave me that support, and I am forever grateful. Let's continue to lift each other up and create a world where everyone has the opportunity to succeed." The audience responded with a standing ovation, and Daniel, Emily, and Victoria felt a deep sense of fulfillment. Their work was far from over, but moments like these reminded them of the profound impact they were making. As the event drew to a close, the three of them stood together, watching the joyful interactions and heartfelt connections being made. They knew that their foundation had become more than just an organization. It was a family, united by a shared mission and a commitment to making the world a better place. Later that night, as they reflected on the success of the event and the journey they had undertaken, Daniel turned to Emily and Victoria with a determined look. "We've accomplished so much together, but there's still so much more to do. Let's keep pushing forward, for every young person who needs a chance, for every dream that needs nurturing." Emily and Victoria nodded in agreement, their hearts filled with renewed purpose and dedication. They knew that as long as they continued to believe in their mission and support one another, they could overcome any challenge and create lasting, positive change in the world. As the Foundation's influence expanded, so did the complexities of managing its various programs and initiatives. Emily, Victoria, and Daniel found themselves juggling multiple responsibilities, each one more demanding than the last. Despite the challenges, they remained steadfast in their commitment, driven by their shared vision of a world where every young person had the chance to succeed. One day, Emily received an unexpected call from a local government official named Robert Hayes. Robert was renowned for his work in social justice and had recently been involved in a major scandal involving the mismanagement of funds intended for community programs. His reputation was in tatters, and he was seeking redemption by aligning himself with causes that truly mattered. Robert proposed a partnership between his newly reformed organization and Emily's foundation. His proposal was ambitious, aiming to address systemic issues affecting disadvantaged youth, including education, mental health, and employment. Emily was initially hesitant, given Robert's controversial past, but she recognized the potential benefits of such a partnership. After a series of discussions and background checks, she decided to proceed cautiously, ensuring that any collaboration would be transparent and aligned with their values. Meanwhile, Victoria was working on the development of a new vocational training center. The center aimed to provide practical skills and job opportunities for young adults who had faced significant barriers in their lives. Victoria was passionate about this project, believing that providing tangible skills and employment opportunities could have a profound impact on the lives of these young people. The planning for the vocational center was meticulous. Victoria spent countless hours coordinating with local businesses, educators, and trainers to ensure that the center would offer relevant and high-quality training programs. She was also involved in securing funding through grants and sponsorships, determined to make the center a reality. During this time, Daniel was focused on the expansion of the Foundation's outreach programs. He had recently visited several rural areas where access to educational resources and support services was limited. The conditions he observed were distressing, and he was determined to address these disparities. Daniel spearheaded an initiative to create mobile learning units that could travel to underserved communities, providing educational materials, mentorship, and support services. The mobile units were designed to be adaptable, equipped with technology, books, and other resources tailored to the needs of each community. Daniel collaborated with local educators and volunteers to ensure the success of the initiative. The groundwork for these ambitious projects was laid, but the true test came when the challenges of implementation began. Robert Hayes' organization was scrutinized for its involvement, and allegations of mismanagement resurfaced. Despite Emily's efforts to ensure transparency, the partnership faced intense public and media scrutiny. Emily and her team had to navigate these challenges with diplomacy and resolve, reinforcing their commitment to their mission and addressing any concerns openly. The vocational center, though well received, encountered several logistical and financial hurdles. Securing the necessary resources and support proved more challenging than anticipated. Victoria worked tirelessly to overcome these obstacles, rallying community support and advocating for the importance of the center's work. The mobile learning units faced delays and technical issues that threatened to derail the project. Daniel and his team worked around the clock to resolve these issues, ensuring that the units would be ready to make a difference in the communities they were intended to serve. Amidst these challenges, the Foundation's annual gala approached, an event that had become a significant occasion for celebrating achievements and raising funds. The gala was not only an opportunity to showcase the Foundation's work but also a critical moment to address the public's concerns and reinforce the organization's commitment to its mission. The evening of the gala arrived, and the venue was filled with supporters, donors, and community leaders. Emily, Victoria, and Daniel took the stage, each addressing the audience with a mix of determination and vulnerability. Emily spoke first, her voice reflecting the weight of the recent challenges. Tonight, we stand before you not only to celebrate our successes but to acknowledge the obstacles we have faced along the way. Our commitment to our mission has been unwavering, even in the face of adversity. We are grateful for your support and trust as we continue to work towards a brighter future for all. Victoria followed, her tone resolute. The Vocational Center represents a beacon of hope for many young people who need a second chance. Despite the challenges we have encountered, we remain dedicated to making this vision a reality. Your support and belief in this cause are crucial to our success. Daniel concluded, his words filled with a sense of urgency and hope. The mobile learning units are just one part of our broader mission to reach those who need it most. We are committed to overcoming the hurdles we face and ensuring that every young person has access to the resources and opportunities they deserve. The gala was a success, raising substantial funds and reaffirming the community's support for the Foundation's initiatives. The event also served as a platform for addressing the controversies and reinforcing the Foundation's commitment to its values. In the months that followed, the Foundation continued to navigate the complexities of its various projects. The Vocational Center officially opened its doors, providing valuable training and job opportunities to many young adults. The mobile learning units began their journey to rural communities, offering much-needed educational resources and support. Despite the challenges, the Foundation's impact was undeniable. The stories of individuals who had benefited from their programs were a testament to the positive change they were creating. Emily, Victoria, and Daniel remained dedicated to their mission, knowing that their work was making a difference in the lives of countless young people. As they looked ahead, they were mindful of the lessons they had learned and the resilience they had developed. The Foundation had faced numerous obstacles, but it had emerged stronger and more determined than ever. With the continued support of their community and their unwavering commitment to their mission, they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead and continue making a meaningful impact in the world. In the aftermath of the gala, the Foundation's renewed energy and commitment began to translate into tangible results. The team, despite their individual and collective struggles, found renewed purpose as they continued their work. The Vocational Center, mobile learning units, and various outreach programs began to show significant improvements and successes. Emily, Victoria, and Daniel spent much of their time on the ground, visiting program sites, interacting with beneficiaries, and making sure that their initiatives were on track. Their hands-on approach not only provided them with valuable insights but also fostered a deep connection with the communities they served. One of the most profound moments came when Emily visited a young woman named Laura at the Vocational Center. Laura, once struggling with unemployment and limited opportunities, had completed the training program and secured a stable job. She was now working in a field she was passionate about, thanks to the skills and support she had received. Laura's story was just one of many that highlighted the impact of the Foundation's work. As the months went by, the challenges surrounding the partnership with Robert Hayes began to fade. Robert's organization had successfully demonstrated its commitment to transparency and effective management. The initial controversy had subsided, and Robert's renewed dedication to social justice became evident through his actions and the positive outcomes of their joint projects. The partnership had evolved into a model for effective collaboration between organizations with shared goals. Victoria's efforts with the Vocational Center were recognized with several awards and commendations from local and national organizations. The center had become a beacon of hope and a model for similar initiatives across the country. Victoria's vision and persistence had transformed the center into a thriving institution that made a significant difference in the lives of many. Daniel's mobile learning units became a symbol of educational equity. They reached remote and underserved areas, providing access to quality education and resources to countless individuals. The success of the units led to additional funding and support, allowing for the expansion of the program to even more communities. Daniel's commitment to addressing educational disparities was widely praised, and his work garnered attention from other organizations and government entities looking to replicate his model. Despite the progress and achievements, the team was not without personal struggles. Emily, Victoria, and Daniel continued to balance their professional and personal lives, facing the pressures and demands that came with their roles. The emotional and physical toll of their work was significant, but their dedication to their mission provided them with the strength to persevere. One day, Emily received a letter from an anonymous donor who had been moved by the Foundation's work. The letter expressed gratitude for the positive change the Foundation had brought to so many lives and included a substantial donation to support future initiatives. The donor's identity remained a mystery, but their generosity was a testament to the widespread impact of the Foundation's efforts. As the years passed, Emily, Victoria, and Daniel continued to lead the Foundation with passion and integrity. They remained focused on their mission, knowing that their work had the power to create lasting change. The Foundation's impact was evident in the success stories of individuals who had benefited from their programs and in the growing support from the community. In a reflective moment, Emily, Victoria, and Daniel gathered to celebrate the milestones they had achieved. They reminisced about the challenges they had faced, the lessons they had learned, and the progress they had made. Their journey had been marked by obstacles and triumphs, but their unwavering commitment to their mission had driven them forward. The Foundation's future looked bright, with plans to expand their reach and continue making a difference in the lives of those they served. Emily, Victoria, and Daniel were proud of what they had accomplished, but they remained focused on the work that lay ahead. Their story was one of resilience, dedication, and the power of collaboration. Through their efforts, they had shown that even in the face of adversity, positive change was possible. The Foundation's legacy would continue to inspire others to join in the pursuit of a better, more equitable world. As they looked to the future, Emily, Victoria, and Daniel were filled with hope and determination. They knew that their work was far from over, but they were ready to face whatever challenges came their way. With the continued support of their community and the strength of their shared vision, they were committed to making a lasting impact and creating a brighter future for all.